Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is the third and final reading of our 2024 prediction series. We have done the general predictions, we have done the love life predictions. I'll have those linked down below in case you haven't checked them out yet and you would like to. But today is going to be all about your career. What is unfolding for you in your career in the year 2024? And we're gonna look at both the overall energies and what is shifting for you, and we're also going to look at some very specific predictions. So we'll get into that once you've chosen your group. For now, let's take a look at your options. There are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today, and I have these little, I guess they're like keychains. I don't know, they're really pretty. They're like orbs and they have little tumbled stones inside them and they're different colors. So I'm gonna show these to you up close one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is red coral. Number 2 is lapis lazuli. Number 3 is tourmaline. And number 4 is Peridot. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the red coral, this is going to be a reading all about your career in 2024. So here is the list of what we're going to be covering in today's reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, we're going to start by just taking a look at the overall energy of your career and look at some general predictions for you. And then we're going to get into some more specifics. So what I want to see in this reading is the type of work that you will be doing in 2024, the physical work environment that you'll be in, the people that you'll be surrounded by, a significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment that is coming your way, what your financial situation will be like, and then we're going to finish off with messages and advice from your spirit guides. Just before we get into it, I want to say thank you so much to Divine Gems for providing this nail set, which I am obsessed with, as well as this bracelet. I'll have them linked down below if you guys want to check them out. They have some really beautiful nails and jewelry. So we're going to start off with your oracle cards to see the overall energies of your career and general predictions. We are starting off with Black Diamond. This roughly says something like, you will forever sparkle with an immortal love and revolution. Very intense. Then we have the Chariot. Ooh, we have the Dragon of Abundance, and it says to challenge yourself. We have Passion. Wunjo, joy, comfort, pleasure, fellowship, harmony, prosperity, ecstasy, glory, spiritual reward, but also the possibility of going over the top. And then, let me just move these. Finally, we have Entrepreneur. Very interesting. Self-employment suits your disposition and intentions. Working for yourself allows you to better follow your intuition and divine guidance. We are your coworkers and teammates, so your angels. Your coworkers and teammates who remain loyally by your side to ensure your success in all ways. This is such an exciting energy, group number 1. I am so excited for you. I want to start off with this Black Diamond. And actually, the first thing that is coming to my mind, this may be kind of silly, is like the ski hill, Black Diamond. I don't know if that's a universal thing, but growing up, I would ski every week, and Black Diamond is like the hardest ski hill. And I don't know, maybe some of you are like professional skiers, but that's probably a very, very small few of you, if anyone. But what I think this is symbolizing for a lot of you is that in the year 2024, oh my gosh, 24. In the year 2024, you are accomplishing a feat in your career that very few do. You are reaching a level of success or performing things with a level of difficulty that very few people get to. And what I'm being shown by your angels is like, you know, as the level of difficulty or intensity goes up, people exponentially fall off, so to speak. People exponentially give up. So you might have, you know, thousands of people doing it at level 1, but then when you go to level 2, it falls off to a couple hundred. When you go to level 3, it falls off to like 15 people. It exponentially has fewer and fewer people who can get to that level, is what I'm being shown. And you are reaching a very high level, or even the top level in your career that is really impressive. It's like an impressive feat that you are accomplishing, is how it's being told to me. Another thing that I feel with this Black Diamond card, first of all, this says you are eternally sparkling or eternally shining. So I do think that a lot of you are either in a career, or in 2024, you're entering into a career where you will leave a legacy. You will leave a lasting impact on this field, even after you have retired. And with this immortal love and revolution, you are, it's like you're revolutionizing this field because you really care about it. And after you're gone from this field, people will remember you and the contributions that you made. And it's like people would look back fondly about how much you cared. And even with the Chariot, with this being Cancer energy, it really feels like your heart is in it. Whatever career you're in, it's really because of your love for people, like your desire to help people, to serve people, to protect people, to teach people, to heal people, to make life easier for people. Whatever it is, I feel like it's all about caring about others, or that's a really big motivator for you. And the love that you have for this field is really going to stick around. And there's a feeling of you're going to be remembered. You're going to have this legacy. Speaking of Cancer, this could also be indicating that Cancer season is going to be a very significant time in your career. So late June to late July could be the time of like a significant turning point or accomplishment in your career. Also, the season of summer in general could be significant for you, which if you're in the northern hemisphere, then Cancer season and the season of summer will coincide. If you are somewhere where Cancer season is not summer, then I think both of those times could be important for you. Cancer season and summer season. And I think the fact that we have the number 24 in this card, it really is your guardian angel saying, like, 2024 is your year. For your career, this is your year. And a lot of these cards have orange and yellow, which is making me think you have a lot of stamina towards your career this year. You have a lot of motivation. You're very passionate about it. And these are also very happy colors. So I really think your career is an area of life where you're going to be blessed this year. The Chariot talks about like huge leaps and bounds being made. I think you're going to make a lot of progress in your career in 2024. Any difficulties that you've been facing will be overcome. There is a feeling of victory with this card, as well as public recognition. So I think you will be enjoying recognition, being celebrated by the public, or enjoying a positive reputation in your field. Yeah, and these two cards have a similar feeling as well, because this card is encouraging you to challenge yourself. With this being the Dragon of Abundance, I think that the more you challenge yourself, the more you will be rewarded monetarily. You're definitely in a situation where doing more difficult things will give you more rewards to reap, which is not always the case. You know, sometimes efforts are wasted. And I think this Abundance Dragon is confirming it really is an equal equation. Like the more effort you put, the more money you can make, and your efforts will be seen. They will be recognized and rewarded. And the Chariot does have this feeling of like, just go for it, just go for it, just do it. So this may be your sign, group number ones, to challenge yourself to that thing you've been wanting to try. Like, just go for it, just do it. Follow your passion. You're definitely doing something that you are very passionate about this year, even with these messages of joy and pleasure, prosperity, ecstasy, glory. Like, this is such an exciting card as well. And with this possibility of going over the top, I kind of think this is a message that there's no limits to what you can achieve here. It may be, what I could see happening is that you're so excited about what you're doing that you could kind of overdo it, just in the sense that you need to remember to take care of your body and to rest. And sometimes you might really get tunnel vision on what you're doing and be so, like, have you ever been really, really in the zone and then you're like, oh man, I've been doing this for 6 hours straight. And maybe you should have been getting up to stretch or going for a walk or drinking water or eating or going to the bathroom. Like, you might get so in the zone, and you need to remember to not be in the zone sometimes. You need to remember that balance. And the Chariot is all about balance too. And now I'm thinking about skiing again, or athletes in general. Rest is such an important part of building up your strength. If you overtrain, you could become weaker or you could become injured. So I think there is a feeling of like, I know you're really excited about your career, but make sure that you don't overdo it. Take care of your health. Make sure that you have a balance. And I do think this is going to be up to you, because I do see you being in an independent energy this year in your career. I don't think that there is someone else who is overworking you, someone else who is putting an overwhelming workload on you. I think it's like your own hunger and your own enthusiasm that might make you go overboard. And there may just be a need to pace yourself. Yeah, and then we have this entrepreneur card, which is really like a literal card to get in a career reading. Many of you guys may be starting your own business, maybe self-employed, or you are encouraged to look into those options. I just noticed I had a piece of cereal under my nail. Sorry if that was bothering anyone. Yeah, self-employment suits your disposition and intentions. Or this card could simply be telling you that a lot of what it is you desire to accomplish, like more of that can be done on your own than you may realize. More of that can be done independently than you may realize. But I love this message of working for yourself allows you to better follow your intuition and divine guidance. It really feels like working on your own terms and working on things that are in alignment with your soul's desires. So all of this really feels like you stepping into your purpose, being able to work on something that you love and that you're passionate about, and again that you will leave a legacy in. So let's roll some dice as well. Anything else we should know in general about group number one's career this year? Okay, we have the number 6. So this would be indicative of the 6th house. We have Cancer again. So Cancer season is significant for a lot of you. Late June to late July, or a Cancer person could be significant in your career. Interesting. I find that very interesting that I was just talking about a significant person and then the doorbell rang, like a person showed up at my door. So there could actually be a significant business partner that you're working with, especially looking at the Chariot card. It takes 2 creatures to pull this wagon, and they need to balance each other out. like we have the yin creature and the yang creature, and their differences complement each other, and that's why this chariot can be pulled forward. So maybe a lot of you will be working with a business partner who has different strengths and different skill set than you, but both of your strengths are necessary, and you balance each other out to move this business forward. Even the Cancer symbol kind of looks like that. It's like two reflected, well, just look at it. I can't explain it, but it's like two reflected images that are balancing each other out. There we go. And then, oh my gosh, your other die is Venus. So a partnership could actually be extremely important for your business or for what you are accomplishing. And with this number 6 here being the 6th house, this may be someone who is helping you to stay on track, helping you to keep your stuff together, keep your shit together, and keep a balance in your life. When I think of the 6th house energy, it's like someone who is organized and disciplined and has their ducks in a row. And the number 6 does talk about balance and health and harmony. So I do think that there is an important person who is helping to balance you out and helping you to keep like a healthy routine, maybe helping you maintain a good work-life balance or something like that. And also, maybe I should mention, the doorbell was a package from my mom, and Cancerian energy is very like mom energy. So for those of you, like maybe your mother or motherly figure in your life could be a grounding influence for you. You know, remembering your roots, remembering to eat well, remembering to get enough sleep. A mother or a mother-like presence in your life could be really important, that you don't get like carried away in your work or carried away overdoing it, if that makes sense. So, oh, also, yeah, never mind. So let's get into your tarot now. I was just gonna say Taurus energy, but I realized there's no Taurus die. But there is a Venus die. And Venus is ruled by Taurus. Or Taurus is ruled by Venus. Anyway, let's just get into the tarot because I'm confusing myself. So let me read from my list to make sure I get all the right info. Okay. So the first thing we want to see is more insights into the type of work that you will be doing in 2024. The type of work that group number 1 will be doing in 2024. So we have the orbs, which I believe is the strength card. I'm just going to check in the guidebook. Yes, it is the strength card. Your physical work environment. We have the elementalist, the type of people that you will be surrounded by, soulmates, oh my gosh, okay. Significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment, and these fell out in like 0.3 seconds. We have the 6 of Trees, which is the 6 of Pentacles, and then we have Life on Earth, which would be the World card. Then your financial situation. we have 2 coming out again. We have the 3 of Lotuses, which is the 3 of Cups. And then we have Infinite Paths, which is the Sun card. And then finally, Spirit Guide Messages and Advice. And yeah, at the bottom of the deck, we have the 8 of Embers, which is the 8 of Wands. Yeah, there's this message of don't overdo it, because with the 8 of Wands, there's a feeling of just having a million things going on at the same time. And this 8 of Wands card certainly looks more chaotic than many, many other decks. So I feel like you're really excited. You're really motivated. There may be a specific goal that you're trying to reach and you get tunnel vision on that goal. Maintaining a balance is really important. That's coming out super strongly, because it could make your life chaotic, and we want it to be balanced and we want it to be peaceful. Take your time reaching your goals. You know, the Chariot is a very fast card. We may need to really be conscious about like reminding ourselves to slow down, check in, take a breather, maintain our relationships, maintain the other areas of our life. Like, don't get swept up into the whirlwind of your career is basically the message. And it's interesting how much this is coming up. Okay, so let's just go through these in order now. So with the type of work that you are doing, we have the Strength card. And it's funny that I thought about like skiing and then I thought about physical training, because strength, it is a card, when I sometimes interpret it literally, that does make me think of like physical strength, physical endurance, exercise, and things like that. So some of you who chose this group, you could actually be athletes of some kind or something involved with physical activity, like anything related to sports, or you could be a personal trainer. You could be like, what is it called? Like do therapy, is it physiotherapy? I don't know. Physiotherapy, even massage, like anything to do with the physical body. You could be a dancer, if I didn't say that yet, or a dance instructor, or a yoga instructor, or yeah, anything that is related to like the physical body or the movement of the physical body, or even helping energy move through the physical body, could be a part of your work. Or if we interpret this a bit more broadly, this could be indicating that the nature of your work is one that does require a lot of mental strength, discipline, patience. I'm hearing it's not for the faint of heart, which kind of goes back to the start of the reading, where you're accomplishing a feat that very few accomplish. This could even also be that your job requires a lot of emotional strength. For example, maybe you are a paramedic and you see a lot of people in distress, and you see people in critical conditions, and you see how people's loved ones are affected. Or maybe you are in the public eye and you need a lot of resilience because people are talking shit about you, or projecting things onto you, or starting rumors about you. This could obviously be so many different things, right? Like that this experience is not just limited to one type of job, but it really is coming through that your work is not for the faint of heart. You either need to be physically strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong, or maybe even all of the above. And it may be also be a job that takes a long time to become successful, whether that's because it's like many years of schooling, or you just have to try many, many times to be successful because it's difficult. And that could also be a reason that a lot of people like drop out of this path. And so, yeah, you really need to be tough. And you are a tough one for finding success in this field. I'm gonna look at the guidebook. This is a court card. I can never remember what they all are. So for the Elementalist, it is it is the King of Swords. So this indicates the work environment that you are in. And this is also a card making me think that you are the boss, or you are, again, like in a high position that offers you a lot of independence. And what was I gonna say? That your own ideas are really valued in this environment. I also think that your work environment could be kind of strict, in the sense that this is a place for work and nothing else. And that doesn't mean that you don't have other things going on in your life, but it's like we don't mix those two environments. So, and again, I want to use like an athlete as an example. I don't know why that's coming up so much, but this is where we train, in this gym. This is for training and nothing else. Strictly training. No chit-chatting, no texting, no taking breaks in here. Like, this is just for training. And then when we want to take a break and relax, we can go into this other space. And I think this is intentional. It's not to be like punishing or to be harsh. I think it's something psychological where, like, when we step into this space, our brain knows that it's go time and we can be really, really focused. I think it's to help you be focused and help you to build motivation. And the same thing can be said then for when you enter into your space of rest. Your brain switches and is like, okay, it's time to rest now. And so I'm not going to worry about work stuff. I feel like you're really making an effort in 2024 to create these physical boundaries in your environment, so that like your work brain and your resting brain, or like your work brain and your private brain, are not mixing too much, because that could be a cause of stress, or that could be a cause of like overwhelm, where you find like, it's like if those physical environments mix, then maybe you find like, I can't really focus when it's time to work. And then, or I can't really rest when it's time to rest because I'm thinking about work. And really separating those physical environments, I think, will be very good, like psychologically, if that makes sense. Yeah. And you could also be working in an environment. Yeah. It seems just like strict and no nonsense. It seems to be kept quite clean. The environment, it could be very particular about where things are kept and how things are organized, which I think is a very positive thing, because it's like, we come here, no nonsense, like it's time to get stuff done. And if you are working by yourself, this could be an encouragement from your spiritual team to set up your physical environment like this. That could help you focus, that could help you be productive. Okay, then we have the people that you're going to be working with, which this is an amazing and very literal card to get here. You are working with your soulmates. So there are souls out there you are destined to meet, because you are destined to collaborate with them. You are destined to create something with them. You are destined to work together. And we had these yin and yang creatures as well, which I think is speaking to that too. And Venus, which was making me think of partnerships. The people you work with will feel like your family. They will be your chosen family, or they will be your second family. Whatever you're doing, like I've said many times, I think it requires a lot of resilience and strength and hard work. It's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. And so working together becomes this incredible bonding experience. And I think that it's like not a lot of people can maybe relate to what goes on in your day-to-day life and what your work entails. And so when someone does that alongside you and really, really gets it, really gets what you go through, like that's an invaluable bonding experience. So you're going to form really, really close bonds with the people that you are working with. Just looking at these people hugging, it's very intimate. And I do think you will form even like personal relationships with the people you work with and genuinely care about them as people. You could be forming some beautiful friendships with the people you work with. If you are not currently in a romantic relationship could blossom. It could. In your work. But yeah, this is like your work soul family that you are coming into contact with, which I think is even more confirmation that whatever work you're doing, it is like your soul's destiny. It is a part of your life purpose. And I also see you surrounded by people who inspire you and whom you want to emulate in a very healthy way. I guess what I mean by that is you're inspired by what they're doing, and that makes you feel like if they can do it, I can do it too. And I see this person shining in their own authentic way, and that makes me want to shine in my own authentic way. And I might, learn things from them and take things from them, but it doesn't become this thing where you feel like you need to copy them or you're comparing yourself to them. It's like a healthy emulation is the way I want to say it. And then we have a significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment that is coming your way. I love that we have the Six of Pentacles here because I feel like this is definitely a reiteration of you getting compensated fairly for your efforts. This card represents equilibrium. It often has a scale in the imagery. And I keep thinking of Taurus. This is a Taurus card. And that Venus made me think of Taurus. Someone with a Taurus moon could be significant to this group. And my mom, who sent the package that came earlier, also has a Taurus moon. Anyway, I was talking about being compensated fairly for your work and the equilibrium that this Six of Pentacles represents. It has the scale, so whatever you put in is directly what is going to come out. That is going to be like very predictable. I think you are going to be very financially secure this year. And that might be a significant accomplishment for some of you. Even also like with things coming into balance, I'm thinking about paying off loans or getting out of debt. Like we're resetting the scale back to zero. So for those of you who have loans or have debt, you could be getting out of those and like resetting, and now you're starting to build. I also think this balance could be talking about you achieving the work-life balance that we've been talking about. This is also a card that makes me think of soulmates, depending on the context of the reading. And because we have soulmates right here, coming into union with your soul family, I think is also a very significant accomplishment for you. You're also helping a lot of people with the work that you're doing, especially having the world. It means you are helping people on a large scale. So it could be that the work you do directly serves a large number of people. It could also be that the work you do brings people together. Here I go thinking about athletes again, but just that, the sense of community when you go to a sports event and there's like all the fans wearing the same colors and maybe they're like hugging and coming together. Or like at a concert, if you're a musician and then like at a concert, there's a sense of oneness and there's a sense of we're all coming together and experiencing this emotion together. There could be people who make friends or people who meet their soulmates because they're both fans of you. You know what I mean? Like the work you're doing is somehow bringing people together. Oh my gosh, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, I think the work that you're doing is reaching a lot of people and helping a lot of people. And you could be gaining recognition in another country or gaining recognition on a worldwide scale as well with this world card. Like you're going big, you're doing big things. And the world card also talks about completion. So another significant accomplishment for you could be like the completion of a big project or again, like reaching the top level of something, graduating from something. There's a feeling of things have come full circle. We have completed a chapter. Yeah. And then for your financial situation, we have the Three of Cups and the Sun. So we have Cancer energy coming out again, as well as Leo. And I know we've been speaking a lot about Cancer season could be significant. Late June to late July could be significant. This could actually be a good time for you financially. This could be a time of the year where like a large sum of money comes in, or where your income significantly increases. It could be the time of year where, like we spoke about before, like debts or loans are dealt with. Yeah, this is a good time financially for you. Actually, between late June to late August, there will be a big blessing coming into your financial situation. And what I'm seeing here is that the way it's coming through is like, by no means are you crazy rich, but you can do everything that you want to do. And that's what really matters at the end of the day. It's not about the number of how much you have, it's about the quality of your life. And what I can see here is that you have a very good quality of life. With the Three of Cups, right away, this made me think you definitely have no worries surrounding money in 2024. Like, and maybe especially in the second half of the year. There's nothing that you have to worry about financially, because the Three of Cups is just people frolicking and having fun. So like you don't have to worry about anything. Not only are your needs covered, but also your wants. So if you're like, I want to go out to this nice restaurant and I want to treat my friends, you can do that. If you're like, my favorite artist is going on tour and I want to get the meet and greet tickets, you can do that. If you want to get the new iPhone, you can do that. It's like anything that you possibly want to do, just because it will bring you pleasure, and not necessarily because this is a responsible way to spend my money, or like I'm meeting my needs. You can be a little bit frivolous is what I'm trying to say, and you don't have to feel guilty about it afterwards. I also see, like, I'm imagining someone who maybe they spent a lot of money and then they're like, okay, I have to be a little bit more responsible for the next couple months. I guess I'm gonna be like, we're not going to be eating good for the next while because I just spent all this money. And we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that this year. Like, you can spend your big money and treat yourself, and you can keep eating well, and you can keep living your exact same lifestyle. There's not a feeling of like, oh my God, I spent this money and it put me behind. Yeah, I think you guys get the picture. You just don't have to think about it. And this talks about like friendships as well. So something that you might be enjoying a lot this year is spoiling your friends, I'm hearing, or treating your loved ones in the way that you really want to, or, you know, enjoying outings and events with them. The Six of Pentacles is a very generous card, and look at all these people hugging. These people are hugging, these people are hugging. This may be a group where it really brings you joy to care for and provide for your loved ones, and with your financial situation, that's something that you're going to be able to do. Like, of course, you've always provided and supported emotionally, spiritually, mentally, which is even more important. But it is quite nice. I think you'll find it is quite nice to be able to like treat loved ones with like little material things here and there. And yeah, even with Infinite Paths, I feel like there will be nothing in 2024 that like you can't do, or you feel like you have to hold back from doing because of monetary reasons. And even with this being the Sun, both of these cards are very carefree and fun loving. So, I mean, I can say it in a million ways. It's just like, there's no worries. There's no worries here. And then, yeah, we already spoke about your spirit guide messages and advice. I wonder if, because you're having all of this success and growth, I wonder if the part of you that is susceptible to overdoing it, I wonder if there's a fear of losing momentum. You know what I mean? Like, you worked really hard and your financial situation improved. And so there may be a part of you that's like, if I don't keep working harder and harder and harder, then everything I've gained here is going to be lost. And I think you need to trust in your ability to maintain this level. Like, you don't have to keep going harder and harder and harder just to maintain your success. Yeah, it's like knowing when is too much and knowing when you're putting too much pressure on yourself. That's really important. That's what your spirit guides are saying. So those are all of my messages for my group number ones. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. This one was so exciting. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. You can also decide on topics for future readings. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do ever. I really, really appreciate you being here. Group number ones, I am sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly. I'm sending love to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, your guardian angels, your higher self, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number twos, so if you guys chose the Lapis Lazuli, this is going to be a reading all about your career in 2024. Here is the list of everything we're going to be covering in today's reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, I want to start off by just taking a look at the overall energies of your career and get some general predictions, and then we are going to go into the specifics. So I want to look at the type of work you'll be doing this year, or the nature of the work you're doing, your physical work environment, the people you'll be surrounded by, a significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment that is coming your way, what your financial situation will be like, and then we will close off the reading with messages and advice from your spirit guides. And just before I get into it, I want to give a big thank you to Divine Gems for sending this lovely nail set, which I am obsessed with, as well as this beautiful bracelet that I'm wearing. I'm gonna have their stuff linked down below. They have a really nice selection of press-on nails and jewelry, so be sure to check them out if you feel called to. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. These oracle cards are going to represent the overall energies of your career and the general predictions. So to start off, we have strawberry quartz, and this is loosely translating to a pretty sparkling love goddess is coming down from the sky. Love that. Then we have the Tower. The Flying Dragon, and this says to incorporate a different way of doing things. Creation. Dagaz, breakthrough, awakening, awareness, daylight clarity as opposed to nighttime uncertainty, a time to plan or embark upon an enterprise. And then we have listen and 222 on the camera timer as I am showing you this card. Quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to our gentle reassurance that everything has been taken care of. Stay in a quiet and receptive state without worrying about the exact nature of your desire's manifestation. A quiet mind and body hears us quickly and clearly. This is our request to you. Listen. And so interesting that this, whoa, did you hear that car honking? I was just about to say, I feel like that 222 with this card is a really big confirmation. 2 is the number of the High Priestess, and this card really does reflect her energy about being still, being silent, and being in a state of deep knowing and being in a state of connection to your divine guidance. So that might be something that's really important for you this coming year with regards to your career and just in general, I think. Because I'm not gonna lie, group number 2, when it comes to what's going on in the 3D, I feel kind of restless or even frustrated. This doesn't seem like the most stable year when it comes to your work. This may be a year where there are a lot of transitions happening, or one big transition happening, or like many adjustments that need to be made are making themselves known. It's interesting that you have the number 25 here, because group number 1, they had the number 24. And so I was thinking like, wow, this is a reading about 2024. You have the number 24. Like, this is your year. You guys have 25. So I feel like my group number 2s, the year where you're really shining and you're really being blessed in your career is the year 2025. And 2024 is the year of adjustments. Like, whatever needs to be released so that we can make room for these blessings will be released. Whatever needs to be tweaked or adjusted will be adjusted. And it doesn't feels like there may be a lot of things that are not going according to your plan or that are unexpected. But throughout all of this, you are in the process of creating your highest reality. And I think that this card is speaking to the immense amount of divine support that you have throughout this time. It's interesting as well that, you know, this card is related to the crown chakra, and we had that nod to the high priestess with listen and 222. I think connecting to your divine guidance will be a really key factor in making it through the ups and downs and the uncertain times of your 3D experience. If you're familiar with tarot, you will know that the Tower card can be kind of a scary energy, things suddenly coming to an end, things falling through or falling apart. What I think is really interesting is that you have the flying dragon next to this. So these two cards together are giving me the feeling of a baby bird falling out of their nest only to discover that they can fly. I think that there is a nest that you need to fall out of. And maybe you kind of know this deep down. But you are staying in the nest because you don't realize that you can fly. And your spiritual team, I almost see your spiritual team gathering together. Like, how do we show group number 2 that they can fly? Because we can see that they want to leave this nest, but they don't think they can. If only they knew they had wings, if only they knew they could fly, maybe they would take this leap. And they're like, how do we let them know this? And maybe the way you will find out is through being pushed and falling out. Like, look at these animals falling out of the tower, and imagine on their fall, they realized that they had wings this whole time and that they could soar. So I do think there may be some things coming to an end, or some disappointments even, just things not going according to your plan. But it's like the reason you wanted these things in the first place was because you didn't realize that the heights you could reach were so much greater. Your spiritual team is almost saying like you were dreaming too small. And we had to show you that there were bigger and better and more fulfilling things out there for you. It's so funny because I feel like this card is so pretty and elegant, and it's like the goddess of love who is coming here to help you align with a career that you love. And she comes down and is like, push, and pushes you out of your nest. And so it's kind of like a blessing in disguise. It's kind of a answer to your prayers, although it might feel jarring at the time. And I feel like all of these things that are seemingly going wrong, and by going wrong I just mean things that are not going according to your original plan, I feel like they're all going to prove to be blessings in disguise. And you know, this might be kind of an unstable year or an unpredictable year, but it's going to lead to blessings in your career later on down the line that you never even dreamed for yourself. And it's so interesting too that we have this message of like breakthrough and awakening. I think you're really realizing that you were destined for something greater than what you had originally planned for yourself. And this is a year where you're gaining a lot of clarity about that. This card talks about doing things in a different way, embarking on an enterprise. I feel like you are destined for some kind of change in your career. And so the divine might take you off your originally planned path. And that might feel kind of scary, and the waves might be choppy. There might be some turbulence on that journey. But this is the journey in which you learn about your own ability to fly. So let's roll some dice to see any other information you might need to know. Okay, so we have the number 7, which is related to the 7th house. We have the sign of Aries, and we have Mercury. Aries energy could be significant because this Tower card is also related to the planet Mars, which is Aries's planet. So Aries season could be a significant time of this year. So late March to late April, or an Aries person or someone with Aries placements could be significant. Oh my gosh, I'm just remembering something. I was watching one of ASO's readings, and she was using the Green Witch Oracle, and Strawberry card came out, and it had something to do with like agreements, partnerships, like people helping you, people supporting your cause, if I'm remembering it correctly. And I remember it was associated with Libra energy, and the 7th house is also associated with Libra energy. Aries and Libra are coming through. So there's probably going to be something coming out in this reading about like finding the right people to support you, finding the right people who believe in your vision, a change in your work or business partnerships, the people who surround you, and moving into a more positive and supportive community. Yes. With Mercury here, I'm actually thinking of the Magician, because the Magician is ruled by Mercury. All of these things that are transpiring, although it may not seem like that in the moment, they are related to things that you are manifesting for yourself in your career in terms of abundance, success, fulfillment, even things that for those of you who are manifesting love or manifesting a union with someone, like whether it's someone you know or you don't know them yet, but you know, trying to manifest someone out there. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. For those of you who are manifesting love, all of these things that are transpiring could also be a part of that love manifestation, because we have the goddess of love, we have Libra and 7th house energy. It's really coming through strongly. Your spiritual team wants to let you know that yes, this is all a part of the plan. This is all because of your will and what you want to do. And it may be uncomfortable. It may seem like the opposite of what you had hoped in the moment, but it's like let things play out. And you'll see with time, you'll see how it all comes together. So let's get into your tarot now and see a little bit more about the specifics of your career in 2024. A Libra rising person could be significant to this group? Okay, so the first thing we want to see is in 2024, what's the type of work that group number 2 will be doing, or what is the nature of their work? It's interesting how long this card is taking to come out. This could be indicative of, there could actually be a long break in your work in 2024, like a period where we don't have work, or there could be a period where work is quite slow, or there could be a period of indecision, like I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do for my work. And actually that gives these dice a whole different meaning. If, you know, Aries represents you, the 7th house represents other people, and Mercury represents ideas. If you're feeling indecisive about work, it could be that over the years, other people's ideas for you or other people's vision for you has kind of gotten into your head. And you may struggle with like confusing other people's wishes for you with your own wishes for yourself. And I think that this year is about tuning into your divine guidance, tuning into your soul, and asking yourself, what is it that I actually want to do? Like if I take everyone else out of the picture and just tune into myself, what is it that I truly want to do? Some of you may even associate pursuing the career that you truly want with being selfish. And for some of you, I could understand, especially like, the example just came to mind of like maybe someone funded your education and then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. But what I'm being told is that like work is something that you do for a living, and a lot of us, it's something that we spend a very significant portion of our life doing. And you have to not hate what you're doing if you're going to be spending that much time of your life doing it. And you're not a bad person for changing your mind, and you're not a bad person for, God forbid, you do something that makes you happy. And people who love you there shouldn't be conditions to their support. They shouldn't say, I support you and want you to be happy, but only if you do what I want you to do. And if someone's gonna like hang over your head the support that they gave you and be like, and expect you to do a career that you don't enjoy, because otherwise it means like you're ungrateful, it's kind of giving them not really wanting the best for you, or that their support was conditional all along. I don't know how many people this message is for, but your spiritual team is saying like career is a big deal. You're going to spend a lot of time doing it, and you shouldn't be doing something you don't like just to please someone else. Like that's not realistic, and that's not healthy for your life. It's funny, as I was giving that whole little speech, I could not stop looking at this strawberry quartz love goddess. I feel like in a way, I feel like this being represents you. She just seems so pure and innocent. And I think that maybe some of you have some feelings of guilt or shame surrounding pursuing what you love that needs to be healed. Like you just want to make people happy, and you just want to do something that you enjoy, which, like, oh my gosh, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a beautiful thing. We have the Three of Embers, which is the Three of Wands. A card for your physical work environment. We have the Peacock. Oh my gosh, lovely. That's the Empress. See how fast they're coming out now? That once we get that heavy energy out of the way, things start to accelerate. We have the Cosmic Tree, which is the Hermit. Interesting. That represents the people you'll be surrounded by. Aries, Virgo, and Libra are significant signs, which is so funny because that's ASO's big three, and I was talking about her before, because we have Aries here, we have Libra here, we have Virgo here. That's funny. A significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment that is coming your way in 2024. We have Death, and this is actually, Death is the Fool card. So that's so cool. Like the Fool's journey starts with death. Your financial situation. Ooh, the Eight of Trees, lovely. And then your messages and advice from your spirit guides. We're gonna take the bottom of the deck energy. And we have the orbs. Aww. That's so sweet. So just orbs in general. To me, orbs equals spirit guides, or like members of your team that are not in the physical, and they appear as orbs. And this is the Strength card, and I feel like the message that they want to give you is that they're always around you, and they're giving you strength. And they want you to know that you can pull through this, and they want you to know that you're going to be supported. I think this is just their message to you rather than advice. I really think their only advice to you is to believe in yourself and believe in the possibility that things can get better. And when in doubt, always listen to your heart. That is much easier said than done, but it's something that you can practice, and it's something that you can master throughout the next year. Tuning into your divine guidance, which will never lead you astray. I think you have your spirit guides. It's like you have a very beautiful friendship with them. Some of your spirit guides are saying they would like you to be more friendly with them and more intimate with them and almost more casual with them. That you can talk to them at any time. If there's certain rituals that you do to connect with your spirit guides, or certain offerings that you make to them, and that makes you feel good, they certainly would like you to continue that. I guess what they're more so trying to say is that it's not like you have to do those things, or that they expect you to make a really big thing out of it. They're like, we're friends. They want you to remember that you guys are friends. You've maybe even had past lives with your spirit guides where you were best buddies, you were bros. I guess they want to have a more friendly and intimate relationship with you. Yeah. Okay, so let's go through the rest of these cards now. There's a lot of major arcana going on. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of these 6 cards are major arcana. So whatever's going down this year is fated. I mean, we kind of already knew that. This is all part of the divine plan to get you to get you to your big blessings in 2025. But the majority of these being major arcana, I think, is really just confirming that to you. This is some strawberry quartz that I have. She's very beautiful. I'm just gonna put her here. Yes. I love anything like red. Okay, so in terms of the nature of the work that you're doing, we do have the Three of Wands, which I'm gonna be like a broken record in this reading because this is just another message that you are meant to go bigger. You are meant to do something bigger. And this is a card that, actually, this is, like I said, Aries energy. So you are meant to, there's a message for you to be more selfish when it comes to choosing the type of work that you want to do, putting your wishes for your life first, doing something bigger. Some of you may have aspirations to relocate for work, to move far away, and that might be something that you feel guilty about. It's funny that I was talking about birds and nests at the beginning of this reading, because it's like leaving the nest, you know, leaving your hometown. You might feel guilty about leaving people behind. But the Three of Wands has this feeling of coming out of your comfort zone. So you are meant to kind of take a risk. And Aries, it's a pioneering energy. Take a risk, do something you haven't tried before, do something for you, and dream bigger. The job that you're meant to be in, it's one that has the potential to grow almost infinitely. Like the opposite of a dead-end job. You know, there's some jobs where it's like you will just stay in this position forever and there's no opportunity for growth. But you're meant to be in a job that has many opportunities for growth, where it's almost like the sky is the limit. Just one example that's coming to my mind is like, if you're a content creator, I mean, your page, your channel, whatever it is, it could kind of grow indefinitely. It can just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it kind of feels limitless in that sense. You can grow as much as you want to grow. There's no ceiling on you. The Three of Wands is also a card that I sometimes associate with passive income. So the career that you're meant to do, it could be one that does gain you passive income, like you're earning money while you sleep, as they say, or like there's the potential to make more and more money for the same amount of work. So like if you wrote a book, for example, it's the same amount of work, but if one person buys it versus if like 1 million people buy it, you can make way more money for the same work. That kind of potential for growth, I think, is a really key element to your destined career. We have the Empress here, who's represented as a peacock, which I think is so beautiful. You are meant to be prosperous and abundant in this lifetime, and you're meant to be proud of yourself, and you're meant to show off your accomplishments. With the peacock, some of you guys, you need to embody this peacock energy more and be like proud of yourself and be a show off. Those of you who chose this group maybe have the tendency of downplaying your accomplishments. I also think you have the tendency of downplaying how much you want something, and it's kind of a way to protect you from the potential disappointment that you might feel if it doesn't work out. Like if you, I don't know, if there was a job that you really wanted to be selected for, or a contest that you really wanted to win, you might kind of downplay it, like, oh, I don't really care, or even tell yourself that you're not that good anyway, so you might as well not enter anyway. And it's all just to shield yourself from some kind of disappointment. That's why you downplay yourself, your skills, as well as like the expectations that you have for yourself. But you are meant to be big and bold and take up a lot of space. And I'm just looking at this image too. I feel like the peacock represents like your soul or your higher self. And this is you. This is maybe society or the people in your life, and they're trying to say like, hey, come with us and stay down on the ground with us. But you can't help and keep looking back at this peacock that you know you're meant to become. you can't help but feel like, what if I'm not supposed to live like you? What if I'm supposed to be this peacock? And that's because you are. It's interesting too that there's the word pretty on this card. The whole thing is like this love goddess is pretty. And then we have the Empress, who is very known for being pretty. Like she's ruled by Venus. We have Venus here. She represents beauty. So part of your career could have to do with your beauty. So, you know, you could be showing your face, showing yourself, you know, like makeup, fashion, modeling, being on camera, things like that. Or part of your job could be creating beauty, whether that's with paint, whether that's with musical notes, whether that's with plants, whether, you know, just creating beauty or seeing the beauty in the world and allowing it to shine. That could be a part of your work as well. But I'm just realizing, actually, this is about your work environment. And the Empress, she is very cushy and lavish. So your work environment, it's going to be somewhere where you feel comfortable, where you feel in your element, where you feel the most nourished. And that could differ from person to person, but the place where you feel most abundant, and I want to say like cozy, abundant, cozy, and like yourself, where you can really soak in your own energy. So for some of you, that might be your house. For some of you, that might be outside in nature. For some of you, that might be like one of those fancy offices where they have like snacks and beer and beanbag chairs. Like it, you know, for some of you, it could be a studio. Wherever you feel like this Empress, wherever you feel like this peacock, that's what your physical work environment is going to be like. And I do think there's something very aesthetically pleasing about the environment that you work in, for sure. And it's, for those of you who are working indoors, there could be a lot of expensive things in that environment, like expensive equipment or expensive furniture or high quality decorations. It feels luxurious, the place that you'll be working in. As for the people you'll be working with, we have the Hermit. So you may actually be alone for the majority of the time, but in a positive way. So I feel like this is a really good message for those of you who are like introverts and you do not want to be dealing with people all day and talking to people and being presentable all day, where you can just be in your own corner working on something that brings you joy. I think that's going to be the case for a lot of you, like working on your own, being in your own space. And even if you are with other people, I feel like you just have a lot of time out of the day to do your own thing. I'm just looking at how this tree is bare, and it's making me think of, maybe because I'm thinking of like the tree is naked, and then it's making me think that you're able to just be your true self and your natural self. There's really a feeling of you not having to put on a fake persona in order to do this work. You don't have to put on a fake smile. You don't have to put on a certain personality or use certain words. You can just be completely authentic, you know, because the Hermit, he very much, you know, there's the literal meaning of the Hermit of being alone, but the Hermit very much does his own thing, you know. He's not trying to impress anyone. So that's kind of the vibe that you'll be in. And yeah, I do think a lot of the time you'll be alone or working independently. In terms of a significant accomplishment or a significant opportunity that's coming your way, we do have Death, which, like I mentioned before, is the Fool card in this deck. And we have the number 0, which is like a completely clean slate. So there really is a feeling, like, especially with the Tower and the breakthrough, and just thinking about the messages that came up before, I think for a lot of you, there's an ending happening in your career that maybe when you're looking at the situation from a place of fear and from a place of putting others' vision before your own, you might think of that ending as a failure. But if you come back to your soul's perspective, this ending is actually a big accomplishment, because the ending marks the start of you living for yourself. The 0, it really represents a clean slate with infinite possibilities. And even this hand is naked. It's just a bone. Like, we're being stripped bare. I think you're shedding some persona. You're shedding some mask that you had to wear. You had to wear a mask to show up to work. You had to wear a mask to succeed in that system. And it's like, you don't have to wear that mask anymore. And the Fool, this card also represents taking a leap of faith. And I'm just thinking about how very often the Fool card, the Fool has a dog. And I think that dog represents your spiritual team, who's going to be loyal to you and be with you throughout the whole thing. And also, you have, sorry, I'm burping a little bit. You'll have loyal friends that follow you through this transition. Those who truly love you and care about you, they will support you through this transition, and they will be by your side just the same way that they were before. Another thing that's beautiful about the Fool is that it can talk about unexpected opportunities. So as you take this leap of faith into the unknown, it's like the universe is rewarding you with these unexpected blessings and opportunities. This is also associated with Uranus and Aquarius energy. So there is a feeling of you going against the grain. You may be doing something that's like opposite of what others expected from you, or you may be doing something that's opposite of your previous career, or doing something kind of unconventional for a living. In terms of your financial situation, this is a feeling of something. This is about consistency, repetition, perfection, mastery. So there's a feeling of slowly but surely building something up. I don't necessarily see like breakthroughs in your financial situation with this card. 8 is the number of abundance, but Pentacles has a more slow and steady vibe. So wherever your finances are currently at, I think that they will grow at a pace that is like gradual and realistic, meaning that I guess I don't really see you looking at your income or looking at your bank account and being like, holy shit, but more just being satisfied and being like, awesome, we have a bit more savings, awesome, we're growing. It's like when you look in the long term, you can see that growth happening. For those of you who have a specific financial goal, Virgo season could be when that goal is being reached. So between late August and late September, because this is literally like when the sun is in Virgo. But also, Virgo's quite like meticulous and on top of things. So there could be a piece of advice to really watch your finances and watch your budget, because I feel like sometimes we don't realize how much money we're spending, or there may be like charges on our card that we forgot about, like, oh my gosh, I'm still subscribed to that, or just, we don't realize that we could be saving money. For some of you, your savings could be increasing, not necessarily because you're making more money, but just because you've cut some expenses, or you've figured out how to save more wisely, or maybe you got a different kind of bank account that has better interest, or you've like made a good investment. You're being responsible with your finances and growing them slowly over time, which is awesome for not just creating not just getting rich quick, but for your long-term wealth. So it's like a modest growth, but over the years, I do think it's gonna really compound for you. And then, also, the 8 of Pentacles, it does make me think about developing skills. So there could be a piece of advice here from your spirit guides that learning new skills could improve your financial situation. Or there could be skills that you already have, and if you were to develop them a bit more, you could start to monetize them. Not that you have to, because your like skills and hobbies can be just for you. But if you were wanting to make a bit more money, like learning a new skill or developing an existing skill could be one of the first steps of that. And this is just my own personal interpretation of this card that comes up sometimes, but especially skills you have that are quite niche, like there's not a lot of other people who know about that or can do that. Those could be the ones that could really contribute to your finances. Yeah, and then we have this piece of advice from your spirit guides, which is really just to stay strong and stay resilient through this year. Like I said, I think this is a transitional year, so things might feel unstable, uncertain, things might feel up in the air, but I really think that you're making changes to set yourself up for greater happiness and greater prosperity in the years to come. Again, I think 2025 is going to be a really blessed year for you in your career, and I think they also just want you to know that they're here for you. They're here with you. And again, they want to talk to you more. They want to feel closer to you. They want to be more friendly with you. Like you can literally talk to them at any time, even if it's just to say hi. They love you. They feel like you are their best friend, and probably like you and your guides go way back. I think you've been through a lot together, and these trials and tribulations that you're going through now, it's like they're saying, we've been through things like this so many times, and this time is going to be no different, and that we're going to get through it. Yeah. So group number 2s, these are all the messages I have for your career in 2024. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. I wish you a happy rest of 2023 and an even better 2024. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of timeless pick-a-card readings. Timeless exclusive pick-a-card readings, just like this one. Even though this one is kind of not timeless, most of the ones on Patreon are. And that's going to be linked down below, and you can also suggest topics for future readings on there. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here. I really appreciate your support, and I'm sending so much love and strength and resilience and power to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading directly or indirectly, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, all of your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number 3s, so if you guys chose the Tourmaline, this is going to be a reading all about your career in the year 2024. Here is the list of everything we'll be covering in today's reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, I want to start off by just taking a look at the overall energies of your career and getting some general predictions. And then in the second part of the reading, we're going to get more into the specifics. So I want to see the type of work you'll be doing, or the nature of the work you'll be doing, your physical work environment, the people you'll be surrounded by, a significant opportunity or accomplishment that is coming your way, what your financial situation is going to be like, and then we'll close off the reading with messages and advice from your spirit guides. And just before we get into it, I want to say thank you to Divine Gems for sending this beautiful nail set. I am in love with it, as well as this bracelet. I'm going to link their stuff down below. They have some really nice nail sets and jewelry. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. So these oracle cards here are going to represent the overall energies and the general predictions for your career in 2024. We are starting off with Sugilite, and it says this is a spiritual stone that symbolizes healing and spirituality. We have Judgment, the wheel dragon or ring dragon maybe. And it says that this is a time where, oh, this came out in the general predictions reading too. Let me know if any of you watched the general predictions 2024 video and you had the group that got this card, because that would be kind of cool. But it says this is a time where things that have been completed are now being set into motion. Then we have growth. We have weird, interconnectedness of past, present, and future. And then finally, we have energy work. Life can be electrifying because its very essence is energy. Your body is a remarkable energy field that will positively respond to loving treatments. Your hands and heart are activated to give healing energy to your loved ones and clients. Wow. Group number 3, there's a lot of indicators of you being in the spiritual field in the work that you do, starting right away from Sugilite, which is talking about healing and spirituality, and then this card that is talking about energy work and giving your clients healing energy. Even the number 18 is related to the moon card in tarot, which talks about the things that are behind the scenes, beneath the surface. It can talk about intuitive abilities, psychic abilities, the interconnectedness of past, present, and future. And this word weird, if I'm not mistaken, it does mean fate or destiny. There's just a lot of indications of this group doing something spiritual for a living, or this being your eventual calling. I want to talk about these 2 cards here. We have this, like, I'm just gonna call it the circle dragon. We have this circular dragon that is saying something is being completed and it's time for it to be set into motion. And then we also have the judgment card, which feels like it's a time for you to step up and answer this calling and like show the world what you're made of, or show your gifts to the world. And I think for many of you, 2024 is a year where something that you've been preparing behind the scenes, or something that you've done behind the scenes, is time to be shown to people. It's time to be done publicly. So for some of you, this could be you are publishing or launching or releasing something that you have been working on. For some of you, it could be that it's time for you to show off your talents to the world, or like something that you used to only do for yourself. It's time for you to offer that as a service to other people. So that would be like, if I only did tarot readings for myself in the comfort of my own home and like it was just for me, then if this were my reading, it would be telling me that, you know, it's time for me to start offering this as a service. It's time for me to start doing this for other people, or that is a part of my calling, because there is a whole collective out there. There's a whole community out there who could benefit from my talents, whether that's, you know, them being on the receiving end of my talents as a service, or them seeing me expressing my talents would inspire them to develop their own. Something that might be, and I feel like it might be uncomfortable for many of you to put yourself in the spotlight like that, but I feel like that is what you are being called to do. And there's something that there's something that you deserve to make money for. It may even be that there's something that you've done for a long time for free, and your spiritual team is asking you to consider charging for this gift that you have. it's almost like it's very important that you do this for other people or with other people, not just because it will help them and serve them. Like that's a very big part of it. I think you'll help a lot of people grow and help a lot of people reach their potential, but it will also grow your own skills and grow your own abilities more than if you just did it yourself. So just using the tarot reader as an example again, of course, doing your own readings and studying tarot on your own, yes, you're going to get better at it. You're going to learn more about it. But doing it for other people would be a great way to accelerate this growth and accelerate this learning process, because then you're connecting to someone else's energy and you're getting feedback from them. You're getting their input and you're getting to hear about their story, and it adds value to what you're doing as well, because it becomes an experience for you to connect with someone else's heart space and to connect with someone else's soul, and that's something that will be very valuable as well. And this is a heart chakra card, so I do think that a big part of the work that you're doing, it is about like connecting to people's energy, connecting to their heart, connecting to their soul through the words that you are sharing. The heart chakra is associated with the element of air. So, and I really feel this is speaking about your words, what you communicate, what you channel, that is healing people and helping them grow. It's funny, this card, it's in an emergency room. Maybe this is like an indication of the healing that you are allowing to take place. And we can see these people, it's like they're gathering around to listen to what you have to say. Interconnectedness of past, present, and future. You could be helping people access past lives or things that have happened in this lifetime in the past, or access their future, or access future lifetimes, or even access parallel lifetimes. You are definitely very spiritually gifted, and I think that utilizing these gifts is a big part of your career in the year of 2024. But there's a feeling like, going back to that moon energy, about like being shy to come forward with it, or not knowing if you're worthy of being in the spotlight or worthy of being this person that people are listening to. But you are an important channel for these messages. Many people can benefit from the way you convey these messages. I do think it is a part of your destiny to offer some kind of spiritual service or to be a healer for others. I think with judgment here as well, this could be something that you've done in past lives, or something that you've thought about doing in the past, or something that you did in the past. But your spiritual team is encouraging you to come out of your shell and to share these gifts. And with this keyhole, it feels like you're helping people find solutions. You're helping people, like you're helping things click for people. When they hear you explain it, suddenly it clicks, because your words, or the way you explain it, the way you channel the information, is very valuable. When the divine message passes through like the filter that is your human brain, it just like comes out in the perfect way, is how it's being explained. So let's roll some dice. Okay, over here. Let's roll some dice to get more insights about this energy. Ooh, okay. We have Saturn and we have the 10th house. And what is so funny is that I dropped the Saturn die by accident, and I was like, oh, it's probably going to change to something else, because that's usually what dice do. But no, I dropped it and it stayed right where it is. So I feel like this message will come up again and again and again for you. You will be called to this kind of work again and again and again. And like Saturn in the 10th house, this is talking about your career. Like the 10th house is ruled by Saturn, and the 10th house represents your public self, what you do in the world, what you're recognized for, your reputation. And it's the most visible part of the sky. Like in the birth chart, the 10th house is like the very highest, most visible part of the sky. So you are meant to be like this being up there for everyone to see. And people need to hear what you have to say. What you have to say is healing. Like, it's interesting. There's this emergency room and there's this, I don't know if that's what this flag is supposed to be. I should probably know this, but like the Red Cross is making me think of like medical aid, first aid, healing. Like your words can heal people. Your words can help people. You may even be sharing, like if this is not a spiritual thing, you may be sharing advice that could really save people in terms of their mental health or their physical health. And some of you could be combining your spiritual gifts with your knowledge of the brain and mental health, or with your knowledge of the body and physical health. Yeah, for those of you who are in healthcare, like you could combine, you know, the 3D physical aspect of ailments as well as the spiritual and psychological aspect to provide a more like holistic healing experience. Or that might be something that you really feel called to do. And then we have Scorpio, which that is related to the Judgment card. And it's healing. Like, you are meant to be a healer for a living. That is how people will recognize you. And this message will come out over and over throughout your life. It might become stronger and stronger over time. And this is also a nod to your psychic abilities. This is also a nod to your strong intuition. Like, it's coming out very clearly. Leo energy could be significant as well. Leo and Aquarius energy, or perhaps fixed sign energy in general. Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, Taurus. So let's get into your tarot now. And yes, this group has a very specific energy. Hopefully you can tell at this point if this is your group. You could also do something with plants, with gardening, with medicinal plants, with herbs, you could do like green witchcraft, or again, something about nutrition, edible plants. And I do think that you're using wisdom and gifts from your past lives for your career in this lifetime. Okay, so for our specific messages, the first card is going to represent the type of work or the nature of your work. Whoop, that's a lot. There's a lot of cards falling out, and this just changed to Gemini. So that's so funny, because when many cards were falling out at the same time, I was like, maybe you have multiple streams of income, or there's like multiple services that you offer. And then the die switched to Gemini, which is like someone who, they can't just do one thing. They need variety because they're so curious. And I think you're highly curious, highly intelligent, and you would get bored doing the same thing over and over again. So I think that you're gonna have variety in your career. Gemini is dual, it's 2. So you could be working 2 jobs, but some of you could be doing more than that. You could have more streams of income, but it's all things that you're genuinely interested in. And I think one of the things that motivates you to keep doing your work is that every time you show up to do this work, you learn something, you learn more. And honestly, that's how I feel about reading cards, because like there's millions of different combinations of cards that can come out, and then depending on what deck you use, the imagery is a bit different, the symbolism is a bit different, and I feel like anytime I do a reading, I come out of it with a bit more insight on like what this card can represent, and a bit more insight on life, perhaps. You know, I don't think I ever do a day of filming and I'm like, that was boring, I didn't learn anything. Like, I'm always, and it's so fascinating, right? Like, to see different people's journeys. I think the work that you're doing really piques your curiosity, and you're always learning something every day, and you're always challenged every day. And so your brain is really happy. Like, you're very intellectually stimulated. And I feel like translating is a part of your work as well. Whether you're translating from one language to another, whether you're translating, jargon. You could be translating jargon into normal person terms so that people who are not a specialist can understand concepts. Like, you're breaking it down into easier language. Or even reading a birth chart is translating. Even reading tarot cards is translating, because you're getting these messages and you have to change it into plain language that is easy to understand. Okay, the nature of the work that you are doing. There could also be, you could work with different people every day. You know, you're seeing different clients every day, and that's something that also keeps your work interesting. Okay, we have the 5 of Lotuses, which is the 5 of Cups, and we have the 7 of Birds, which is the 7 of Swords. There is such a stark contrast between the imagery of these two cards. We have a boat that is sinking into the depths, and we have a bird or birds that are flying over the mountains. This looks so much like overcoming obstacles, like almost being saved from rock bottom, or from purposely going down to rock bottom to face your shadows so that you can then fly over these mountains. This is healing work. This is transformative work. It's also very interesting that the 5 of Cups, it can talk about sadness, pessimism, focusing on negatives. But the 7 of Swords talks about like not seeing the real truth. So a big part of your work could involve illuminating people's negative biases, or illuminating like the illusions or the false narratives that people tell themselves that keep them stuck, that keep them down, that keep them feeling hopeless. And you're helping people to transform from this sinking ship to this bird flying over the mountain. And it's funny, both of these are fixed. Scorpio, Aquarius. What did I say? Fixed signs. Fixed signs are significant. And honestly, this is kind of sad, but unfortunately, there could be a lot of people in your field who don't have the best intentions, or who are straight up deceptive, who almost like people who would benefit from keeping their clients in this energy, because then they'll keep coming back. Whereas what you're trying to do, like you would hope that people reach this point that maybe they don't need to come back to your services, or they don't need to come back as often. So it's like there's some people with not the best intentions who, rather than trying to empower their clients, they try to like keep them stuck. Or they are just completely, I don't want to say fake, but that's the vibe. So I think whatever field this is needs, it's like, a couple examples are coming to my mind. It's like a dating app that is designed to keep you on the app so that they keep making money, rather than designed for you to actually like fall in love and meet someone. Because if you do that, then you're not going to be a customer anymore. Or like someone who is prescribing medication because they can make money, rather than teaching the client how to like naturally heal themselves or be like proactive so that they don't need the medication in the first place. I hope that makes sense. Or like even a psychic who rather than trying to help their clients tap into their own intuition, they're like, oh, you need to give me all this money because you have negative energy and I can clear it for you. Like making the clients rely on you. There could be some of that business going on in your field. And that's why your authenticity is needed. Okay, let's pull a card for your physical work environment. Your physical work environment. So we have two coming out at the same time again. We have the Four of Birds, which is the Four of Swords, and then we have the Geomancer. This one is a court card. I'm just going to look in the guidebook because I can never remember which one is which. The Geomancer is the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so the physical environment that you work in, first and foremost, it is very peaceful. So it could be like peacefully quiet, or there could be healing sounds around. I also feel like it's a cooler environment. I don't know why that's significant, but it could be cool or even cold in the environment that you work in. The physical environment is one that promotes relaxation. There could also be a lot of greenery or a lot of nature around. You could even work outside sometimes, or if you do work in a building, I feel like this building would be surrounded by nature, or there could be a lot of plants in your physical environment. And there's a lot of focus on having this physical environment help you to stay grounded, help you to stay calm and peaceful. I feel like there's the opportunity for you to take a lot of breaks throughout your day and recenter yourself. And there's a big focus on nourishing yourself. So I feel like you get adequate breaks. I feel like you have like adequate meals throughout the day. It's not one of those situations where you're like, I'm just gonna have a quick snack while I'm working because I don't have time to take a break. It feels very healthy in that way. Also, looking at the sky, this looks like a night sky. There's a moon in the sky. You could work at night, or you could have working hours that are later than average. So for example, maybe most people work from 9 to 5, but you might start working at noon. Like you start later and maybe you finish later too, but it feels like, and maybe like a lot of your clients come to see you when they are finished work, and that's why you work later in the day. But yeah, it feels slow and it feels peaceful, and it feels like there's a priority in comfort as well. Investing in comfortable and good quality things rather than just affordable things. So like in terms of the furniture, in terms of the chairs, you're gonna get a comfortable ergonomic chair rather than just like the cheapest one, or you're gonna get the computer that works well and that has a lot of memory and that performs well for the tasks that you're doing, rather than just getting the cheapest thing. Like we're investing in this environment so that it's comfortable and convenient. Yeah. Okay, so next let's take a look at the people that you will be surrounded by. The people that group number three, the people that group number 3 will be surrounded by in their work. I totally thought this was the 5 of Wands at first, and I was like going on about the 5 of Wands, and then I realized it was the 5 of Pentacles, but maybe I will take both of those meanings for this card. Actually, what I did want to say when I thought this was the 5 of Wands was that there's diversity. There's diversity in the people that you work with. And I do think that this is referring to your clients. I think we've kind of established that in the work that you're doing, you're seeing clients. That is very much the vibe. Or that you have a lot of people who are benefiting from your services, even if you're not necessarily seeing them in person or seeing them one-on-one. I feel like you would be working with people from all different walks of life. And, you know, whether this is the 5 of Wands or the 5 of Pentacles, I do think there is a message of you're mainly working with people who are struggling, which makes sense, like based on the previous information that has come out in this reading. The 5 of Wands can talk about conflict, and I do think in this case it's like an internal conflict. You could be working with people who are feeling confused, who are having trouble making sense of things in their life, who are maybe feeling lost. And then with, you know, this is actually the 5 of Pentacles, and so the meaning with that might be like people who are struggling, people who are maybe feeling like something is missing from their life, people who are feeling lack, whether that's a lack of support, a lack of resources, a lack of clarity, a lack of companionship. There's a feeling of struggle with the energy of this card, and, you know, being able to help make positive changes in their life, I think is a big part of the work that you do. I guess that also explains why there's so much emphasis on creating a peaceful physical environment, not only for the people that you're working with, but for yourself, because when you're around this kind of energy, it will be really important to ground yourself and also to draw those energetic boundaries where, yes, you're picking up on their energy, but you understand that it's not yours, and you understand how to dissipate it once that session is over so that it's not lingering with you, because you are definitely doing energy work and picking up on energy from diverse people that you're working with. And, you know, it's not all going to be troubling like this. Some of it will be beautiful and positive. Some of it could be a little bit chaotic. I think it's just really important to draw the energetic boundaries and be clear on discerning what is my energy and what is not, what is mine to carry and what is not. Let's see a specific opportunity or a specific accomplishment that is coming your way in 2024. Ooh, we have the Ace of Embers. So this is the Ace of Wands. Beautiful card, very exciting, passionate, spontaneous. So there is Ace represents new beginnings. So there is a new chapter of your career that is starting in 2024 that is very exciting for you. And you're definitely doing something that you are passionate about. And you're definitely doing light work. You know, I talk sometimes with the Ace of Wands about there's this feeling of a world that was once like gray and bleak is becoming colorful. And I think that's what you're helping bring to the world. You're helping to bring the light back into people's lives. You're helping people to see the beauty in their lives. And through working with these people, you too are seeing beauty in the world and beauty in these connections. And there's also, like, just in my personal interpretation, I often think of channeling with the Ace of Wands. So you are definitely channeling divine messages in the work that you do. You could also be channeling in terms of creativity. You know, we spoke about you doing many different things and having many different streams of income. You may also have a stream of income that is related to something creative that you do. And a significant accomplishment of yours in the year 2024 is that you could be successfully monetizing a creative gift of yours where it actually, like, you make enough to support yourself off of it, whereas maybe before it was just like a little bit of money coming in here and there, or maybe it wasn't monetized at all. And you maybe even had a limiting belief about this, that, oh, this is never something that I would actually be able to make a living off of. Like, this is just a hobby. But you might actually succeed in 2024 to make one of your hobbies into a viable source of income, or to gain significant income off of your creations. And I think that's going to be really, really exciting for you. And I definitely think you're doing various things. You are not meant to do just one thing. I think another thing that you're accomplishing, wow, this even sounds like a lot for me to say, but you might actually make it through this year without burning out or without getting sick. It's like you actually managed to keep yourself grounded, take good care of yourself, stay healthy, not take on too much, not take on other people's energies, that you're able to make it through the year. Of course, you're going to be tired sometimes, and like it's going to be hard sometimes, but especially for those of you, like if you frequently get sick because of stress or overworking, or you experience burnout, like I feel like when you look back on 2024, you're going to be like, wow, I actually sustained my energy really well. Like, I don't feel exhausted. I don't feel drained. I don't feel overworked. I actually feel energized. And also, something that may have happened for you in the past is losing the spark in your work because of how much pressure there was. You know that feeling of like when you love to do something, but then when it becomes work, when it becomes something you have to do, you can kind of lose the spark. And I think whatever you're doing for work, you're finding a balance where you're always able to keep that spark. You're always able to like keep it as something that is fun to you. Like, I've been doing this channel for, oh my gosh, like 4 years? Yeah, and it's still fun. But if I was like overworking myself and spreading myself too thin, it would probably start to become not fun. And so I think maintaining that spark and what makes your job enjoyable, maintaining that emotion, is a big accomplishment of yours. Okay, what about your financial situation? Your financial situation in 2024, what is that looking like? Woo! Should we take these? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's only 2. We can do that. We have the 10 of Lotuses, which is the 10 of Cups. And, oh, we have 3 actually. We have Life Map, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And we have the Composer, interesting. Okay, let me see what the composer is. Wow, you guys are getting a lot of extra cards. The composer is the Page of Cups. Ooh. So Page of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune, they both have a feeling of surprise or unexpectedness, but in a good way. I think that you are going to be surprised with your financial situation in 2024. And I do think it's taking a turn for the better, because the Ten of Cups is a very, very happy card. It's like one of the happiest cards in tarot. And I know that this is about money and finances, but I honestly don't even think that's a focus for you. I think what you're more grateful for is the emotional fulfillment that you get from the work that you do. That is the biggest thing that makes you happy. There is a little message of family here, or like children, because the Page of Cups can indicate children. Pages in general, but especially the Page of Cups makes me think of children. And then with the Ten of Cups, this indicates family and home. We often see like spouses and then kids running around. So for those of you who do have a family, like spouse and children, or if you are planning to start a family, I think that your financial situation is going to benefit and provide for your family. So for those of you who already have a family and have children, your financial situation, I think, is going to allow for you to do more fun things as a family together. Like maybe go on more vacations or do extracurricular activities, just enjoying the fun things and the fine things in life. And for those of you who want to start a family, I think that this could be a year where you're feeling security and you're feeling that your financial situation will allow you to do so, like with as little stress as possible. Yeah. There could also be, oh my gosh, you guys are doing so many things. There could be something that you've been wanting to do for a long time, and like finally you can because you have enough money to do so. Like composer, for example. Maybe you've been wanting to do music production, but you have to buy a microphone and you have to buy an audio interface and you have to buy the software and you have to buy the plugins, or there's an instrument that you have to buy, or there's music lessons, or there's an online course that you have to pay for. It's like a new endeavor that you've been wanting to do, like something you've been wanting to learn how to do or experience, but there was all of these expenses involved in it. And now you're finally in a place where you're able to do that, and that's going to be really, really exciting for you. Or if you have children, like you could be able to provide that experience for your child, and that's going to feel really, really good to like fulfill a dream of theirs and see them learn and see them enriching their life. We have the number 10 twice, so there's really a feeling of, 10 is completion, and it's like the highest number in the minor arcana. There is a feeling of I couldn't ask for more, so I really think you are feeling fulfillment and a sense of accomplishment in your financial situation. You could be reaching a significant financial goal and you're like, I really couldn't ask for more. You know what they say? I forget what the exact amount is, but some studies say that, there is a correlation between the more money you make, the happier you are with your life, but it plateaus at a certain point. So like any more money you make after this point doesn't actually make you happier or improve the quality of your life. And I feel like you've reached this point where you're like, I could like work more and make more money, but like, would that really make me happier? I feel like I have everything I could ever need and want right now. And I think I want to, like, if I have extra time, I think I want to spend it learning. I want to spend it traveling. I want to spend it on a new hobby. Like, you have that freedom, you have that financial freedom that you don't need to think about like, oh, I have this extra time, I could be using this to be productive and make more money. It's like you have everything you could ever want. That's the vibe. Beautiful. And I really feel like this is the Wheel of Fortune. So I think for a lot of you, it's like the tables are turning, especially for those of you who have experienced financial struggles. This really feels like a 180, and it feels like a divine intervention for many of you. So let's look at the bottom of the deck, because this is going to represent, oh my gosh, the message from your spirit guides, the spirit plane. If you needed any more confirmation that you are working in the spirit plane, that you are doing spiritual work, this is it. And this is the Chariot. It feels like you're journeying into the spiritual realm, and this is going to be a year where your spiritual knowledge, oh my god, 44 as I'm talking about this, your spiritual knowledge, your connection to spirit, the strength of your psychic gifts is vastly increasing. I don't really think this is advice. I just think this is a message. I think this is confirmation. If there is any advice in this reading, I think it's just about staying grounded, giving yourself lots of time to rest and recenter yourself, and really get familiar with what your energy feels like, so that you can tell if you're ever, if you come home from work and like someone else's energy is clinging on to you, you can be like, that's not mine, and you can clear it away. Keeping that energetic distinction and keeping those boundaries, I think, was the piece of advice. But wow, you're really venturing into the spiritual realm in your career. This group, I feel like, was really specific. Like, I feel like it resonates for a specific journey, whereas the other ones seemed more broad. But it's very interesting. Let me know how this resonated for you guys. And these are all the messages I have for you, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy, and I wish you a lovely rest of 2023 and even better 2024. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. You can also suggest topics for future readings there. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release link down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and my channel and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here. I'm sending lots of love to you. To everyone who appeared in this reading, directly or indirectly, I'm sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the Peridot, this is going to be a reading all about your career in the year of 2024. This is the list of everything that we're going to be covering in today's reading. Like I mentioned in the intro, I want to start off by just taking a look at the overall energies of your career and getting some general predictions, and then we will move into the more specific stuff. So what I want to see is the type of work that you'll be doing, or the nature of the work you're doing in 2024, your physical work environment, the people you will be surrounded by, a significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment that is coming your way, what your financial situation will be like, and then we will finish off the reading with messages and advice from your spirit guides. And just before we get into it, I want to give a huge thank you to Divine Gems for sending me this lovely nail set. I love it so much, as well as this beautiful bracelet. I'm gonna leave the links to their stuff down below. They have some great press-on nails as well as jewelry. But without further ado, let's get into your reading. So these oracle cards here are going to represent the overall energies of your career and the general predictions. So we're starting off with Lapis Lazuli. That's kind of funny because that was the stone for group number 2. And this is talking about a magical color, the color of the Lapis Lazuli, that is guiding you towards success and happiness. Then we have Temperance. We have the purple dragon, and it says accepting change. We have isolation. Laguz, flow, water, sea, a fertility source, the healing power of renewal, life energy and organic growth, imagination and psychic matters. And then we have reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. Okay, one thing I'm noticing, there's 2 mentions of colors in your cards, which could be significant. This Lapis Lazuli card, it's talking about the ultramarine color of the stone. And then we have the purple dragon. So deep blue and purple could be lucky colors for you. And then we have Sagittarius energy here with Temperance. So some of you guys could be working in a different location. You could be traveling for work, or you could be in school to further your career, or your job could actually have to do with travel, like a travel agency or a travel photographer, or your job could have to do with education, like a teacher, a tutor, or an instructor of some kind. I also think that the end of 2024 is going to be a significant time for your career because the number 10 made me think maybe October is significant, with October being the 10th month. And then with this Sag energy, that's November, December. So we have like the last 3 months of the year all lining up here. October, November, December of 2024 could be a significant time. And then we also have this recurring theme of balance. Temperance is a card that talks about balance, and this card as well, it's particularly talking about the balance between giving and receiving. So I think this is something that your spiritual team is working to restore for you this year. I think this is going to be a year where a lot of your past efforts are paying off. I think many of you who chose this group, for the past several years actually, you have been going the extra mile. You've been putting in extra work without getting more in return. And so it's like all of those efforts you had been putting in, the universe was watching, and now it's time for you to receive something in proportion to everything that you gave. So yeah, I think this is going to be a time where, for example, a class that you took many years ago, but then you never used the knowledge, like you finally have an opportunity to use that knowledge, or like something that a project that you worked on in the past is gonna suddenly start making you a lot of money in 2024. There's that kind of feeling of past efforts coming back to reward you, and basically like your account is being balanced. However much effort you put in, we need to make sure that all of those efforts are going to be rewarded. This could also just be a focus for you in the year of 2024, really thinking about that balance in your life of how much energy am I giving and what am I receiving in return. And I have to make sure that that's balanced, not because everything is transactional, not because you're keeping score of who did what for you, but just that if that balance goes out of whack, that's when you start to get tired. That's when you start to get irritable. That's even when your physical health can start to suffer. It's like the balance between inhaling and exhaling. You have to exhale just as much as you inhale. You can't only breathe in and you can't only breathe out. So for as much as you're giving, you need to be receiving too. And I think that's just a balance that is going to be kind of at the forefront and in your focus in this coming year. we have this message as well of accepting change. And with Temperance here, there's a feeling of adjusting and getting used to something. This being has one foot in the water and one foot out. And I know that's supposed to be talking about balance, but the way, I think it's the expression on this cat's face. It looks like he's just dipping his toes. It looks like he's testing the waters, getting used to the temperature of the water. So I do think that there is a change coming to your career or coming to like your work routine or your workflow or your workload that is not necessarily good and it's not necessarily bad either. It's just different, and it will just take you some time to get used to it. So one example of this is maybe your work hours are changing. Maybe your work hours are going to be earlier, and it's not like a bad thing that you have to get up earlier. It's just that you're already used to waking up at a certain time. And so for the first little while, you may be feeling sleepy in the mornings because you're like, I'm not used to waking up this early. But then your body understands, okay, this is the new norm, and gets used to it. The same way, like for the first few minutes that you dip your foot in the water, it might feel really cold, but then you get accustomed to it. There could also be a situation where, for those of you who work in a company, you could be transferred to a different department, or your office could be moving. And so it's just different, right? I need time to get used to this new environment, or I'm carrying out different tasks than what I'd been doing for the past year. So I need some training. Like, we're just getting used to something new. And this is talking about like accepting change. So I think some of you might be resistant to it at first. It's like, the example that's coming to my mind is when an app changes its layout, or when an app changes like the theme or the interface, like when Instagram changes and you're like, what the fuck is this? And you don't like it for the first while just because it's like your brain isn't used to it, but then it just becomes like second nature. So I think that's something that's going to be happening in your workplace, whether it has to do with like your schedule, your environment, or the actual responsibilities that you are carrying out. And there's also a feeling of there's some like sacrifices that you need to make because of a greater goal that you have, because there is a feeling here of looking at the bigger picture with this Sag energy, and then also the energies of self-restraint and discipline that comes with Temperance. We may be temporarily giving something up for a greater goal. And with isolation too, it had me thinking that there may be a period in 2024 where you're giving up a little bit of your social life, or whether it's because you're spending more time working on a certain goal, or maybe it's because you want to save money. And so you're like, okay, I'm gonna skip going out tonight. I'm just gonna like cook at home and save money. There may be some little luxuries like that you're giving up, not because you have to, but because there's a goal that is important to you and you're setting aside time or money for it. And yeah, it's like a new routine that you're entering into, and that requires a bit of discipline to get used to. But this is going to lead to greater blessings for you. I love we have the message about fertility and also renewal and water. It feels like you're being cleansed. You have been stretched a little bit thin in the past, working more for less, or giving more than what you were receiving. And I feel like this year your energy is being replenished in some way. I also want to take a moment to look at some of the images on these cards for symbolism. There is a really lovely dog here. I think that's a golden retriever. So a dog or a companion animal could be significant to you. Also, maybe your companion animal is also having to get used to like changes in your schedule. For example, Maybe you used to work 100% at home, but now it's 50-50, that you have to be in the office for half of the day and be at home for the other half. And then your dog is like, what the heck, parent? Like, what do you mean I'm not gonna see you? And so, sorry, I don't mean to make you sad, but like, or maybe the time that you can take your animal for a walk is going to be different, or the time that you can feed them is going to be different, and they're getting used to it as well. This could also be a symbol that some of you could be working with animals in one way or another, and maybe even like marine animals, because we have this person is holding a seashell and like there's water here, you know, something about aquatic creatures or animals. Maybe that's just for some of you. Clothing, fashion with this suit, perhaps even weddings, like wedding photographer, wedding planner, wedding singer, or something like that. Okay, this is getting really literal, but something to do with beverages. You know, like barista, bartender, cocktail creator. What is it called? Is it called mixologist? Anyway, or even like making some kind of mixture, some kind of tincture. Like I'm imagining someone making like a candle, or making fragrances, or making some kind of remedies or soaps. You know, they have to mix the perfect amount. Even baking, it's like very, very specific. You have to put a very like, oh my gosh, why can't I say this? You know what I mean? Like you have to mix things together and it's really precise. Something in your job could have to do with that as well. Like you're working with something that is very, I don't know the word, very specific. Let's just put it like that. Anyway, so we're gonna roll some dice now and get a little bit more insights. Okay, so we have the number 8, the 8th house. We have Uranus, and then we have Aries. Okay, so I feel like this is providing some insight into the change that you will be undergoing. Aries is very much like the self. It's me. It's independent. The 8th house is very much we. It's our joint assets. It's our joint efforts. And so, and Uranus is like unpredictable or unexpected change. At least that's the one aspect that I'm focusing on to read this energy all together. So the shift that you might be getting used to has to do with your independence. So you could be going from working alone to working in a team, or you could be going from working in a team to working alone, or there could be a change in like the size of your team, the number of people in your working space. There could be a shift in your level of supervision. Like, especially if you're entering into a new position, you might have a lot more supervision on you, more people trying to give you guidance. Whereas in your previous position, it was like, I already know what I'm doing. I can do this by myself. Like, there's no one telling me what to do. So going from not really receiving any orders or guidance to having a lot of people like trying to tell you how to do your job. Or it could be the other way around, where you're going from having a lot of guidance to suddenly no one is giving you guidance and you have to figure it out by yourself. And that could be something that's kind of uncomfortable. So there's a shift in something like that. So let's get into your tarot now. So now we're going to do the more specific messages. Earth signs could be significant to this group, or like Earth risings, like Taurus rising, Virgo rising, Capricorn rising. Some of you are also, I don't know if this has to do with your career or not, but it's like unexpectedly bumping into someone from your past. Like you're pretty far past. And the example I was just shown is like, maybe you had a friend in high school and then you went to different colleges and, you know, you got your respective, I don't know, maybe you got a master's too, and then you went to work in your own respective companies and you kind of lost contact, and then years and years later you suddenly end up in the same department again, and it's like, holy crap, like I didn't think I'd be seeing you again. It's like a surprise re-entry from someone in your past. And I know this is really specific, but like golden retrievers and purple dragons could be like a relevant sign. And at the same time that an old friend is coming back into your life, there could be some friends that you are also drifting apart from, especially if one of your friends is getting married or like starting a family. Because that tux is making me think of a wedding. And yeah, like, I think this is a child. I was gonna say, if you have a friend who is like getting married or recently got married or has children now, they could be kind of drifting away, which I think is natural, but it's still something that takes adjusting. I don't know what that has to do with your career, but it's just coming up. Also, there's a message about skincare, like taking care of your skin, especially SPF. Okay, the types of work that you're doing. And for those of you who are interested in skincare, I think there is some correlation with like paying more can get you better product, but it does peak somewhere. And then at that point, you're just paying for like the fancy brand. You really don't have to go overboard. The nature of the work that you are doing. The Five of Birds. So this is the Five of Swords. Your physical work environment. The Vessel, which is, oh my gosh, oh no, that's not Temperance, that's the Devil. But it does come after Temperance. The people that you will be surrounded by, we have the Phoenix, so that is the Hierophant. Okay, this is making sense. A significant opportunity or a significant accomplishment. We have, oh my gosh, that came out for group number 2, I want to say, in this exact position. This is the Fool card. It's called Death in this deck, but this is the Fool card. In terms of your financial situation, we have the Mender. I'm just gonna quickly check in the guidebook what this card is. It is a court card. I just can never remember which is which. So the mender is the Queen of, oh wait, I knew that. See, like, I know them and then I forget them. The mender is the Queen of Cups. And then we're gonna take a look at the bottom of the deck energy, and this is gonna represent messages and advice from your spirit guides. That makes a lot of sense. And we have the Nine of Embers, which is the Nine of Wands. Group number 4, like, you are really not vibing with this change that is happening in your career. And the advice from your spirit guides is to stick with it. The Nine of Wands, it's very much like, do you hear that? I think it's a plane or a helicopter or something flying overhead. The message from your spirit guides is to not give up. That's the Nine of Wands. It's like, don't give up on how far you've come. Hang in there, stick with it, stay strong. It's just going to take some getting used to. And it's funny, this is Sagittarius energy as well, same as Temperance. And there was this focus on the end of the year. And there's just a feeling of give it until the end of the year. You'll see, like, it's going to be okay. There's a change that is making you, like, looking at this volcano, it could be something that it's just like irritating or frustrating. Like something is getting under your skin. But it's gonna be okay. And let's talk about these energies, because I feel like it's coming through pretty clearly. Right away when this Five of Swords came out, there was again this feeling of resistance, like resistance to this change. And you can see there's these two birds that are fighting. And then with your physical environment, we have the Devil, which, you know, that can talk about feeling restricted, especially in this situation. I was thinking about like feeling restricted or feeling cramped or something like that. And so I do think maybe for many of you, it's like the work that you were doing before, there was a bit more independence, and now there's more people around. It could be that your supervisor is changing or someone above you is changing and you just don't super get along with them at first, or like there's more supervision or the guidance is more strict or something like that. Or again, it could be a situation where you used to work remotely, but now you're working with these people in person, and that kind of changes the dynamic. Because it's like you're feeling kind of cramped. And when it comes to the people you are surrounded by, we have the Phoenix, which this is the Hierophant. So I do think this is representing like some kind of authority figure, like a boss, a manager, a supervisor, someone who's training you, a teacher, that it's taken you some time maybe to get used to their approach. And it does seem like at first you would kind of be in resistance to this, or it's like the level of proximity that you have with them now. Like when you were dealing with them remotely, it was fine, but now that you're in close quarters together, it's like, there's like tension. I'm thinking of that. I'm pretty sure it's like Tyler, the creator, is making waffles with this like white woman. I don't know who she is. I'm so sorry. And he's like, oh my God, can you just let me do what I need to do? I'm not finished. And I feel like that's going to be your energy with this person, or like with the people that you're working with. And it's like, they mean well, and they're just trying to guide you and they're trying to help you. But you're like, oh my God, I got this. Like, I know what I'm doing. And there could be some frustration like that. Some of you could be going to school or going back to school, and just the environment of like having homework again and having having teachers like evaluating you and telling you what to do again, that could be something that is hard to get used to. Or there's like rules set in place by, you know, what do you call it? There's rules set in place by the larger management that you just like don't agree with, or like you think they're dumb, but you have to follow them anyway. And it just feels like a different environment from where you're coming from. Then you're like, this is some bullshit. Like, honestly, I think that's kind of how you're feeling at first. But it really, really seems like it's just something that needs time. The same way, like I gave that example about like Instagram changing their layout. At first, you're like, this new layout is bullshit. Like, the old one was so much better. And it's just because you're used to the older one. But then once you get used to the new one, you kind of forget all about the old one. And then it would reach a point where if you go back to the old one, you'd be like, what the heck is this? I can't believe I used to use this. So it really, really just takes time. It really just takes time for you to get accustomed to it. You know, with the Phoenix, this is like a transformation. It is rising from the ashes. And you know, you did not get put into this new situation to be tested. It might feel like that. It might feel like that in the moment, like, oh my God, the universe is testing me. But that's not why. It's because there's opportunity for you here. This is the Fool card. And this is unexpected opportunity. Death and the Phoenix, this is leveling up. This is a glowing up. This is a transformation. This new environment is going to help like shape you or guide you or support you to reach even bigger opportunities that your old environment, although maybe it was more comfortable or more familiar, wasn't really lending itself to that. I feel like you're destined for bigger things. And I'm actually going to take a clarifier for the type of bigger opportunities that will come to you. We have the Ace of Lotuses. Oh my gosh, so that's the Ace of Cups. And aces, it represents a new beginning. It represents an offer that is coming to you. And it also represents like an overflowing joy, an overflowing bliss. So there is an opportunity coming to you maybe at the end of 2024, because that like period is coming up a lot. That will make you very, very happy. And honestly, I'm seeing this water overflowing as tears, because it's like you weren't comfortable at first in the new role. You were maybe frustrated, you maybe felt like you couldn't do it, but you pushed through, like this Nine of Wands is showing. You pushed through the discomfort. You knew that it would be worth it in the end. And so when this new opportunity does get rewarded to you, it could be kind of tearful, like looking back on what you've been through. And I'm so glad I stuck to this. I'm so glad that, you know, I committed myself to this. I'm so glad I trusted the universe, even when I thought that some BS was going on. And I think it's a testament to stick it out and to at least give new situations a chance to show you what they have to offer you. Like to not be so quick to judge them. Yeah. And I do think that this will have something to do with like a really big raise that you are receiving, or a really big promotion that you are receiving. Something that will have you overflowing with joy. And something that will completely wipe away any financial worries you have, any like worries surrounding your security, your living situation. You could even be offered a position like where your rent is taken care of, or like your health insurance is taken care of. Like there could be some really, really big benefits associated with the position that you're offered, that you're just feeling so grateful. And maybe that's what this was talking about. That's like, there is a period where you feel like you're giving more than you're receiving, but you have to trust that all of that is going to come back to you in the end. The universe doesn't miss anything. The universe knows what you have worked for. I want to say the universe knows what is owed to you, and like every last bit of effort that you put in is going to pay off in a major way. In terms of your financial situation, this is really beautiful as well. This is the Queen of Cups. Some of you guys maybe have struggled with your finances in the past, either because of your generosity or because of people who were dependent on you, is the way this is coming through. So there could have been some situations in the past where you were doing okay financially, but then like someone close to you was really, really struggling and they needed your help. And so perhaps you lent people some money, or maybe like a loved one was sick and then you stopped working for a while to take care of them, and then that impacted your financial situation. Or maybe you just really care about certain causes and so you donate a lot of your money. It's like you've always been very, very generous, and I feel like you've always not really put a lot of importance on material things, because helping others and lifting people up in their time of need is way more important to you. So I don't think this is something that you regret, but I do think your spiritual team has witnessed your acts of kindness and has maybe kind of seen that they've been at your expense many times. There may have even been situations where you were really like helping out when it wasn't your, like someone else should have stepped up to help, but they didn't. And so you're like, okay, I'll take the hit this time. That's kind of the vibe. Like it was never, I'm not saying it was a bad thing that you helped out, because I think, you wanted to, but it's like that never should have been your responsibility in the first place. Like someone else was failing to step up and you were just the bigger person in that moment. And you were like, okay, I'll help out. Like I'm going to take a bit of a hit from this, but it will hurt me even more to see this person I care about struggling. So I think you've just always been extremely generous and compassionate, and that also has not gone unnoticed by the universe. And I really do think it's like there's a big bonus coming your way, or a big raise coming your way, and that will bring you peace, and that will ease your worries, that will ease any financial stresses. And there may even be like strong emotion there, because it's like, now that I'm living so comfortably, you could kind of look back and realize all the ways in the past that you were going without, things that kind of became second nature to you, that you just never really gave a second thought. You realize looking back, wow, I was like depriving myself. I thought I was just being frugal, but now I realize that level of depriving myself was not normal. So things are being restored, things are being replenished, and that's what this Lagus card really made me think as well. Any like stresses because of your material security are being replenished, are being soothed. And oh my gosh, what a pure soul, because it's like you've done so much for others, and I don't think you ever really expected much in return. But then when the universe blesses you with this abundance, you're like, oh my gosh, why me? And like, you're so grateful. And it's like, oh my gosh, the universe is like, this is the least I can do. Like, I see you looking out for your fellow humans. I see you looking out for the world. Like, please receive something. Like, you need to receive something for a change is what I'm hearing. And so I think maybe another piece of advice from your spirit guides is to be open to that receiving. And there are some adjustments that will be required to get to that place. But again, I really want to stress, it's not like you're in a bad situation or like you're not being mistreated or anything like that. I think it's just so different, and it just takes time to get accustomed to, because I would never sit here and encourage you, be like, I know your work situation is shitty, but you should just like suck it up and get over it. I think it's just like growing pains, you know? Like, we're not in Kansas anymore kind of vibes. I don't know why I said that, but like maybe actually that could actually be relevant. Like maybe you're getting a job in another country and their work culture is just so different. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's like, you just need time to get accustomed to that new culture. And then once you do, you may really come to appreciate it and to see the positives of it. So yeah, it's just like being introduced to a different world. That's really what it is. And to not give up. Yeah, I feel like that's a really good analogy. Like even the energy of someone who went away for a year abroad, and after the first couple months they're like, I hate this, I want to go home. And Spirit is saying like, please just like give it more time, wait until the end of the year, you'll see, you'll get used to it, you'll start to appreciate the things that right now you feel like are weird or are too different. You can get acclimatized to this and actually start to see the beauty in the differences. We're creatures of habit, you know, I feel like humans, in some ways we don't like change because it makes our brain work harder, you know? I remember one time I was walking home with my boyfriend and he started taking a different route and I legit got upset. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you going this way? My brain was like, this is not the one path that we are used to. Change takes more effort for your brain, but actually doing that is very good for your brain. If you want to keep your brain young, like, shake things up, do things that you are not used to, which is very much what you're doing this year. But anyway, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, so we're gonna end your reading here. Thank you very much, group number 4, for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. I hope you have a lovely rest of 2023 and an even better 2024. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my Patreon, where you can watch tons of exclusive pick a card readings just like this one. You can also suggest topics for future videos there. I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release down below. And finally, my vlog channel and my merch, which features the floating temple that was at the start of this video. Group number 4, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me, my channel, anything I do. I truly appreciate your presence here. I truly appreciate your support, and I'm sending so much love to you, to anyone who appeared in this reading, either directly or indirectly. I am sending love to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.